Breaking Bad, the Challenger disaster, and the telephone are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is March 7th, 2023. It is the 66th day of the year. You got 299 days left. It's the 10th Tuesday in the 10th week and the 77th day of winter. You got 13 days left until spring. I had a science class in high school and the teacher brought up the fact that a lot of festivals back in the day were planned around spring. And a lot of that had to do with, farming and crops and all that stuff. But a lot of festivals, dating all the way back before the Romans, had to do with how spring was when young people started noticing each other a little bit more. Back in the old days, before we had so many other ways to entertain ourselves, finding a significant other took up a big part of your teen years. So we'd have fairs and festivals, different ways to get young people together. These days we just have apps and we just swipe them left or right. Anyway, if today's your birthday, you're a Pisces. Today is Sock Monkey Day. Yes, it gets its own day. Sock Monkey Day is March 7th. A sock monkey is exactly what it sounds like. It is a stuffed sock shaped like a monkey. Now, these are more than just like a toy or something to do. It's really kind of an art thing in the United States and Canada, kind of like folk art. Brown and white sock monkeys have exceptionally long limbs, long tail, and a vibrant red lips, and vibrant red lips. I just had to say vibrant like 6 times. I don't know what's wrong with me. Additionally, decorations on the animal's head and around the neck are possible. The figure has been ingrained in popular culture and appears in comic books and art pieces. Years ago, I saw a great picture in an art gallery, and it looked like the old King Kong thing from like the 1930s where he's standing on the top of the Empire State Building. But they replaced King Kong with a sock monkey, and it was really well done. Sock monkeys can be traced back to the Victorian era. During this era, the demand for replica stuffed animals spread through Europe and North America, and sort of collided with the developing art and crafts movement. The iconic sock monkey that we know today didn't show up until about the 1930s during the Great Depression, when people started making sock monkeys to entertain their kids because they couldn't afford a normal stuffed animal. Now, some people say it really didn't show up in its current form until the 1950s. That's only because some woman named Helen Cook decided to patent the sock monkey in 1953. Yes, believe it or not, there's some controversy when it comes to sock monkeys. All right, let's see what else March 7th has given us. 1850, Senator Daniel Webster gives his 7th of March speech endorsing the Compromise of 1850 in order to prevent the possible Civil War. It didn't work. 1862, the American Civil War. Union forces engaged Confederate troops at the Pea Ridge in northwestern Arkansas. 1876, Alexander Graham Bell is granted a patent for his invention he calls the telephone. You may not know the actual definition of a telephone, so I'm going to tell it to you. A telephone is a telecommunication device that permits 2 or more users to conduct a conversation when they are too far apart to be easily heard directly. A telephone converts sound, typically and most effectively the human voice, into electronic signals that are transmitted via cables and other communication channels to another telephone, which reproduces the sounds into a receiver. And the person on the other line listens to those digital sounds. It's been around forever, and the technology to me is still just amazing. Now, obviously these days, not everyone has a home phone like we once did. Telephone comes from 2 Greek words put together, tele, which I believe that's how you pronounce it, which means far, and phone, which means voice. Now, there's a lot of important dates when it comes to the history of the telephone. On March 10th, 1876, they had the first successful telephone transmission of clear speech using a liquid transmitter. This is when Bell spoke into the device and said, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." Watson heard each word distinctly. And then, of course, on April 27th, 1877, Thomas Edison has to get involved. If you don't know much about Thomas Edison, he was, great inventor and did all kinds of things, but he was more of a thief. I've really grown to despise this man when I hear all the things that he's done. Now, Edison finds out about this telephone and files a patent application for a carbon graphite transmitter. It was published to him on May 3rd, 1892, but then, of course, they go into litigation like they always do with Thomas Edison, and Edison was finally granted the carbon granular transmitter in 1879 after 15 years of legal battle. If you ever get a chance, read up on Thomas Edison. All we know are his inventions, but you start to find out he really just ripped off a bunch of people. I mean, the only reason the movie industry moved to Hollywood, California was because of Thomas Edison. He had so many lawsuits and had government officials help him pass laws to where he basically got a cut of anyone that filmed anything in New Jersey. So a bunch of people that wanted to make movies just picked up and moved across the country. But when you look at the history of the telephone, they had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, especially when it comes to the technology. They passed a key milestone in 1998 when there was one phone for every man, woman, and child in the U.S. You also had in 1983 when the U.S. government ended AT&T's monopoly. Right around 2000, landlines started becoming less and less of a thing. In 2005, 42% of American households had landlines and wireless phones. Only 34% had landlines. Only, no wireless. That same year, 2005, only 7% of households had wireless only. In 2008, that's when landlines sort of peaked. 60% of homes had landlines with wireless, and only 20% of the homes had wireless only, while there was only 17% of the homes that had just landlines. In 2022, 70% of the homes in the United States were wireless only. 28% were wireless and landlines, and right around 4% of the homes in the United States currently only have landlines. 1900, the German liner SS Kaiser Wilhelm becomes the first ship to send a wireless signal to shore. 1945, World War II, American troops seized the bridge over the Rhine at Remagen. This was a key bridge. The Germans were trying to get as much of their military across a few bridges left across the Rhine, then they were going to blow up the Rhine. This, of course, would make it incredibly hard for US and allies to get into Germany over the Rhine River. These days, it's a lot easier, but back in the day, it was kind of hard. They seized it before they got a chance to blow it up. 1965, Bloody Sunday, a group of 600 civil rights marchers are brutally attacked by state and local police in Selma, Alabama. 1986, the Challenger disaster. Divers from the USS Preserver locate the crew cabin of the Challenger on the ocean floor. 1993, the tugboat Thomas Herbert sank off the coast of New Jersey. This is pretty interesting because there's a lot of theories on what happened. The tugboat was found intact under the water. It was towing a barge and just went down. Now, all 5 of the crew members died in the incident. When they did an investigation, they saw metal from another type of boat, and they figure a submarine had hit the cable. Now, a U.S. submarine they would have known about, so they think it may have been a foreign submarine that hit it and then just got out of the area. Movies released on March 7th, 2003, Tears of the Sun. This was an action war thriller that sees a special ops commander lead a team to rescue a doctor and 70 refugees in the Nigerian jungle. This was a Bruce Willis movie, and it was pretty good. Kind of shined the light on what was going on in like some of the civil wars in Africa and how horrible it was there for people. It was really, really an interesting movie. And it wasn't just all action. It was kind of a drama too. I liked it. Born on March 7th, 1956, Bryan Cranston, Tony Award-winning actor who starred as Walter White in the Emmy Award-winning AMC series Breaking Bad, which helped propel his film career. He was in Malcolm in the Middle. I thought he was a big star then, and then Breaking Bad just blew his career up. He's been in Argo, Drive, and Godzilla, and a bunch of other things in recent years. He performed at many local theater productions at a young age, but delayed acting professionally due to his parents thinking it wasn't a good thing to do. They had serious reservations. Died on March 7th, 1999, Stanley Kubrick. Iconic director, cinematographer, and screenwriter who excelled across a number of genres with the 1968 sci-fi classic 2001: A Space Odyssey, to The Shining, Clockwork Orange, Dr. Strangelove, which if you've never seen Dr. Strangelove, you need to see it. It's a dark comedy. It is excellent. Peter Sellers is in it, George C. Scott, Slim Pickens, James Earl Jones. One of the websites I get a lot of information from also said that Glenn Beck was in it. Glenn Beck was born the year after it was filmed, so I'm not sure how that one works. I'm thinking it was a mistake. On March 7th, 1999, 6 days after screening the final cut of Eyes Wide Shut for his family and stars, Kubrick died in his sleep at the age of 70, suffering a heart attack while he slept. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.